Hello, scrappers. Had a couple washing machine motors here that I've broke down to the stators, and kind of wanted to show you something that I've noticed on a few of these, and hopefully it stays true, because then I'll know what to kind of watch for. I usually pull all the motors out of wash machines, but cut one down last night, and what I've noticed on some of these, I've got a couple more right over here, got 3 more sitting there, and I believe those are all aluminum windings, as I believe this one here is aluminum windings too. Now, yeah, you can take a file to it, and while we're talking about that, let's go ahead and do that. I'm sure this one's copper. I haven't taken a file to it or anything, but what I'm looking at is, you can see the label on this one. You know, it's just plain label, right? Now this one's even heavier. It's got these yellow lines on it. So then it's also got these green coated windings. So what I'm noticing, if they have these stripes, that they're copper. Guess you can see that. And I'm sure you can see that nice and bright silvery. So without the stripes, I'm finding they're aluminum. And there's a little bit of difference in thickness too. I'm not sure if you can, camera's picking up the difference in thickness. Probably a good 1/4 inch. You can see it there. Probably pick it up better like that. But that's not, but the thickness can't always be all that accurate, because I do have another one here that is almost as thick, maybe a 1/16 or so off. But as you can see, that one's aluminum windings too. Since these don't have any string around them, when you cut them, the wire is going to go everywhere. So what I've been doing, I've been grabbing this blue tape. Yeah, you say, that's just costing you money using the tape. Well, yes, and no, I've had this around for a long time, it's getting old. But I took some copper in here a little while back. It was $3.75 a pound, and the one I cut down last night, I got 3 pounds, 8.1 ounces, so 3.5 pounds. So it's a good $10. So it's a quick $10 really. I'm going to fire up the angle grinder, so it's going to get a little loud. still get some of the smaller ones from the inside falling out. And grab a bucket. Do it the easy way. Okay. As you can see, that is definitely copper. All the way through. I was wondering, because every now and then I'd tear down a lot of wash machines and save the motors and tear them down, and some would be copper, some would be aluminum. So then I thought, well, I'm going to try to see if I can distinguish, you know, some kind of marking on the outside as to what's copper and what's aluminum. A couple of motors over on the shelf I need to break down too to get them off the shelf. Check my air, see if it's plugged in. Plugged in, but do I have? Guess I won't be chiseling that for a few minutes, so I'm going to go ahead and pause the video. Okay, we're back. Air compressor finally built up, so don't have to listen to that. I had broke cut them other two little motors down, Stators, that I had. Now these blades I use, but you can't really see the name on that one. I'll grab one here out of the other room real quick. They're Go Yonder blades. I get them on Amazon. I have an affiliate, Amazon affiliate page put up, and I do have these blades listed on there. So if you go through the, I'll post a link to that in the description. But one thing I like about them is I got this little die grinder, which I think I have a link to these blades too. They're maybe 1/16 of an inch, and they're both about the same. I don't know if you can see that on camera, but they're very thin. Pretty strong, not strong, just strong as the thicker ones. And they last about the same length. I haven't noticed any difference really. The ones I break usually are the ones when I trip over the cord on the angle grinder and it hits the floor and busts it up. Okay, I got a couple. I'll get 3 or 4 zip ties on here. I do have that affiliate link, and I make a little bit of commission on the sales that I have linked. The blue vise and that sawhorse clamp, I do have those ordered now, so I'm going to try them out. I was originally looking at that sawhorse clamp at Harbor Freight. I don't know, I've probably been looking at that for close to a year, thinking, what do I do I could really possibly use that thing for? But I think it's going to come in handy. Here I've just taken a flat chisel and cut a V in the middle of it. If you're liking this video, learning anything, I share a lot of little tips and tricks on different videos, tools I've modified. I used to do this with pry it out with a pry bar or screwdriver and channel locks. Of course, if you don't have an air compressor or air chisel, that's probably the best way to go. Try to keep it from going everywhere. I'm tempted to get a dedicated shop vac, so that whenever I'm cutting these things I can try to salvage the copper dust. That one hit the ground. Sorry about getting in the way of the camera. It happens. Now I get into these wires. Cut the bare ones off and then throw the rest of it into one of my wire bins. Just takes a minute. But like I said, I make about, today's price is around 10 bucks off of one of these motors. Now the ideal thing would be to look for these, and actually take any of these if you can find a appliance repair shop that would maybe buy them from you, test them and buy them. Depends on what they pay for them too. Like the aluminum ones, if you're only getting 5 bucks a motor, well, sell them all the aluminum ones but keep the copper. And if you're getting 10 bucks or more a motor, then you'd probably sell them all to them because it'd be a lot faster. Collect your money and move on to something else. Save your time. So a lot of these are pulling out one side, but they're not really pulling out the other. So a lot of times what I try to do is hold back on this side, so then it'll kind of jerk it out that side. Another thing to do if they're doing that, like using channel locks, because you have this big rounded edge for frying. They come right out. Got the scale zeroed out, so one of these buckets, empty buckets. We'll get a weight on this. That's pretty well cleaned out. So let's I'll swing the camera around over here. Probably have to take it off the tripod so you guys can see. So, see the scale says 0 pounds, 3.5 ounces. So I take this empty bucket, a little dirty. Okay, yep, didn't mean to shut it off. Here's 0. So now we'll put the copper on. 3.40 ounces. So at number 2 it was bringing 375, so at least 1050, somewhere in that area. Just kind of roughly figuring. If I had a calculator I could be a little more accurate. I've still got all this copper tubing to cut up and weigh. Came out of that burnout. Kind of get an idea of what I made on the copper. Kind of in the way anyway, but not real bad. So, but I got that pipe over there too. I got to cut it open and get the copper tubing out of it. So, lots of copper around. That copper's where it's at, isn't it? Copper's what pays. So, try to get those 4 cleaned up pretty soon. But like I said, those are aluminum windings, so they might be a pound of aluminum in each one, maybe. So what's that, 40 cents? It's not a lot, but it adds up. I got about a half a barrel of copper windings now. But now that I know the trick, if I get swamped, don't really have time to pull the motors, I can at least flip them over if I'm pulling the wire out. And if I can see that marking, see the label, if I see them yellow stripes on there, like this one has, see them yellow stripes, then I know there's a real good chance it's copper. And I know there's one thing too, this one was made in Mexico. The other one I had on the table was made in the USA. I thought that was kind of interesting. You would think the one in the USA would have the copper. But it's not the case. Well, if you enjoyed the video, which I hope you did, then give it a thumbs up, hit that like button, share it with your friends. If you're not a subscriber, I'd appreciate it if you would subscribe. I can always use more subscribers. And I get a look at my ugly mug. There, zoom it out some. So, there's a look at the ceiling. If you like the lights I got. So, thanks for stopping by. I hope you liked the video. Hope you learned something from it. I'm trying to share what I learned and what I learned as I learn it, or things I know from the past. But I thought that was kind of an interesting discovery. I know I'm going to be watching for those yellow stripes here in the future, and might help some of you guys out. I got the Super Shocks out on the truck out there today, and I think it lifted up real good, right about 3 inches probably from the wheel wells. So now when I get a good load on there, the tongue of the trailer won't be right down almost on the ground. I haven't taken it for a test drive yet to see how it rides, but hopefully it'll ride good. And doesn't look like much here, but I got The longer box there on the left is the steps for the white truck. That thing sits so high, it's a stretch. I'm 6'4", and it's a stretch for me to get up into that thing. Of course, it'd probably be easier if I was younger. Then that little box is hardware for one of the steps. When I ordered them, they sent me 2 steps, which I have to assemble and then mount, but they only sent the hardware for one. So I got online and ordered, or called the company I ordered them from, and then they forwarded me to the company that sells and ships them. And so they went out in the warehouse, looked, they said, yeah, we got a lot of hardware, so they sent me a package. So I got all that together, so now I need to assemble those, but not tonight. About time to call it a night. Hope this fan's not making too much noise. Picked that up at the auction here last fall. It had a real horrible wobble to it, but it just needed torn apart and cleaned up. I've been accused of destroying everything I get my hands on. Well, and they asked, do you ever fix anything? Well, that's one of the things I fixed. Of course, I think I gave about $30 for it, so I'm not going to not tear it apart. Which they don't realize, you know, some people don't realize that I can do a video of it and I can make my $30 back on the video. But I'm not tearing that apart for the copper. I like those. They throw a lot of air. That's on low right now, and it's hitting me a good 6-8 feet away, you know, with a nice strong force. And I think they're about, I saw those at Sam's Club. They're about $100. Good little fans. We got some at work. They throw a lot of air, and they got a double receptacle on the side too, so you can plug stuff into them using as an extension cord. So they're great on the job site. I'm not promoting the fan, but you know. But anyway, I'm going to get off here. I'm sure this video is getting long, so we'll see you guys in the next video. Bye bye.